So with all this talk of narcissism being all over the internet, it could be very easy for the actual abuser to accuse you of being a narcissist. I mean, with the way they twist everything around and make it your fault and genuinely have you questioning if you are the problem, you're the abusive one, you might be the narcissist, right? Let me just tell you that a true narcissist would never have that question in their head. They always think they're right. They are so self-validating that there's no way they could have that feeling in their soul. The amount of arrogance, and I don't even know a better word for it, honestly. But if you are having that doubt, you're most likely not the abuser. So let's step back and kind of pick apart some of the things that make it very clear whether you're the abuser or the abused. I know I have a lot of broken down explanations on certain tactics that the abuser uses and certain ways that you might react abusively, but to be driven there by psychological, emotional, physical, financial, I feel like I repeat myself a lot, but if this is the first video of mine that you see, I don't want it to sound like half a story, so sorry if you're getting tired of whatever I'm saying. The abuser is intentionally manipulative. They have so much control over everything, even if you don't really see it happening, while the abused person feels confused and out of control, and maybe anger mixed with sadness, mixed with why am I less than? Why am I never good enough? I'm so lucky that they put up with me. Abusers would never have those thoughts. But then also on the physical side, the abuser is often throwing things, screaming, which I know is verbal, but sometimes the screaming feels physical because it just makes you feel extremely unsafe. You don't know what they're capable of when they start screaming at you and where this argument is about to go. Being very violent towards you, even if they're not actually touching you, like punching the wall right next to you. These things start to escalate at the abuser's hand. They're in control of those things. The abused might get physically abusive as a form of reactive abuse because they feel so out of control, and nothing they say is getting the point across to the abuser about whatever you're arguing about. So you start getting a little bit physically abusive, just like nothing else is working. You won't shut up long enough for me to tell you my side of the story, so I start throwing things, trying to just have some attention. It's almost like in an effort of begging for respect from this person because they're not listening to you. Also, in a sense of cheating, the abuser might cheat on you and accuse you of things that are not even on the realm of things you want to do. Not something you would ever actually follow through with. They're accusing you of things that they're guilty of. Whereas the abused person who's being cheated on might have some insecurities or wonder if the abuser is cheating, but you almost never actually call them out because they're so manipulative and tricky, and it's just going to start a fight. You don't want to bring that hell on yourself. So you might do some digging and be sneaky about it, but you almost always find something. Actually cheating and accusing you of doing it, or having some suspicions and finding out for yourself. At least that's how it was in my case. I'm not saying that if you call them out, you're automatically abusive, especially if they are actually cheating. So, all of that to say, if you are unclear whether or not you're the abuser, you're probably not, because like I said, the abuser would never think so low of themselves to be admitting that they're abusive. most likely you're a kind, genuine person who's just trying so hard to make this relationship work, and this is just one more way they can drag you down. So do some deep digging, like into your soul, and keep your opinions straight with yourself, because you don't need to be influenced by their opinions, especially if you're already in the middle of all this abuse. Stay true to yourself and be who you know you are, and don't let them convince you otherwise. Love you, bye.